Hey Space Cadets, it's me, and today we are answering another what if question from our Curious Kids series. So buckle up and get ready to blast off, because today we are asking, what if you could live on the moon? For more videos like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on all the fun stuff we have planned. Also, stick around until the end of the video because I've got a special treat for you. If you could live on the moon, what would life be like up there? Let's explore. Okay, so first things first, how would you even breathe up there? The moon doesn't have an atmosphere, which means there's no air to breathe and no oxygen to keep you alive. On top of that, there's no water either, which means no drinking or swimming. But don't worry, because if you were really going to live on the moon, you wouldn't have to deal with these problems alone. NASA already has some ideas about what life on the moon might look like. To survive on the moon, you would need a special spacesuit, just like an astronaut's suit. These suits have oxygen tanks so you can breathe, and some even have water tanks so you can drink while exploring the lunar surface. But if you wanted to stay outside for longer periods of time, you'd probably need a base to return to. The base would also need to have its own air and water supply, so that means you wouldn't exactly be living the rugged survivalist life. Instead, you would be living in a sort of science base, which would be kinda cool, don't you think? You might have seen movies where people on the moon jump really high, because the moon has much lower gravity than the Earth. In fact, gravity on the moon is about 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. That means if you weigh 60 pounds on Earth, you would only weigh 10 pounds on the moon. How crazy is that? That also means you could jump super high and maybe even fly around a little bit if you had wings. Low gravity can make it hard to walk though, so you might have to practice before you get used to it. Astronauts in lower gravity environments often have to do special exercises to keep their muscles and bones strong. It would be different up there, but it would definitely be fun. Next question, what would your house look like? Some people think that if they could live on the moon, they would want to live in a dome. Domes are cool because they use strong materials in an arch shape to create a building that is strong enough to withstand extreme weather conditions. They would protect you from meteorites and radiation. There are many other cool benefits to living in a dome on the moon. For example, because of the shape of the dome, you could see the Earth hanging like a giant blue ball in the sky whenever you looked up. Pretty cool, right? Another option for a home on the moon could be a cave. We know that sounds kind of weird, but hear me out. NASA believes that there could be water ice hiding in the moon's many craters. There might already be ice caves on the moon, just waiting for us to find them. If we were living in a cave, we could use the walls to protect us from solar radiation and micrometeorites. Plus, it would be really cool to have a flashlight and see our own shadow on the cave wall. As we walk closer and closer towards the camera, the last option is to build our moon homes in a space station that orbits the moon. We already have tons of experience building space stations because we have the International Space Station here on Earth, but an added benefit of living in a space station on the moon would be that you could see both the Earth and the moon from your window. It would be like having the best seat in the solar system. And speaking of the solar system, we actually have a real-life example of something similar to living on the moon. Check it out. Alright, now let's talk about real-life moon missions. NASA and other space agencies are already making plans for humans to visit the moon again. There are a bunch of reasons why we want to go back to the moon. First, the moon could help us learn more about the Earth. By studying the moon, scientists hope to learn more about how the Earth formed and maybe even find clues about where life might exist beyond our planet. The moon could also help us prepare for life on Mars. If humans are going to survive on other planets, we're going to need a lot of supplies. And by learning how to live off the land on the moon, we can get a head start on figuring out how to do the same thing on Mars. Finally, the moon could just be a really cool place to visit. There's nothing quite like bouncing around in low gravity and gazing at our beautiful blue planet from afar. Now let's play a little game. Pretend that humans really did move in and start living on the moon. Let's imagine what life might be like. What do you think your day would look like? What would your house look like? Maybe you'd be friends with aliens. Draw a picture and tell us all about it in the comments below. And if you want to take your learning even further, check out the additional resources we have linked in the description below. There you can find links to articles, activities, and more. And we have tons of great stuff over there, so make sure to check it out after you finish watching this video. So now that you know what life on the moon would be like, let's take a minute to talk about why it's not possible yet. First of all, the moon doesn't have any air, water, or sunlight. Humans need all three of those things to survive. And unfortunately, the moon just can't provide them. We could bring all those things with us from Earth, but eventually, we would run out. And there's no easy way to replace them on the moon. Even if we could solve the air, water, and sunlight problem, the moon doesn't have much of an atmosphere. That means that any spacecraft that lands on the moon is at risk of being hit by meteorites. And while spacecraft can be built to withstand these impacts, they're not 100% safe. Finally, the moon is really far away from Earth. If something goes wrong with a spacecraft on its way to the moon, there's no guarantee that the crew will survive. All of these problems are pretty big obstacles to overcome, but that hasn't stopped humans from trying. In the past, NASA has sent several missions to the moon, including the Apollo program, which landed the first humans on the moon in 1969. More recently, NASA has been working on the Artemis program, which aims to land the first woman and the next man on the moon by 2024. Artemis will also establish a sustainable presence on the moon, which will allow humans to live and work there for extended periods of time. As you might have guessed, we haven't quite figured out how to live on the moon yet, but that doesn't mean we won't be able to do it in the future. With a little bit of imagination, anything is possible. Maybe one day you'll get to visit the moon yourself and see what life is like up there. Might not be possible to live there full time, but who knows? Maybe one day it'll be a reality. Thanks for joining us today and asking such a great question. Keep looking up. Hey, Space Cadets, it's me again. If you want to keep exploring space and learning about all the amazing discoveries that await us, make sure to check out my new show, What If? It's all about answering one simple what if. Every episode, we explore everything from the very big to the extremely small and everything else in between. I can't wait to see you there.